Most wholesalers doing this business know the basics. Find a deal, find a buyer, and get paid. But knowing it and actually doing it are two completely separate things. In this video, you're going to see a live battle plan call with one of my students named Jonathan, who had already been doing this business for years, but he was burning out and he couldn't figure out exactly why the deals he was getting, a lot of them were falling apart. And by the end of the call I had with Jonathan, he was able to see exactly what was happening and what he was missing. And it's something that most wholesalers never even think about or completely miss when talking with buyers. And if you've been in this business for a while and you feel like there's something missing that could help you be a little bit more consistent, this video is going to help you out a ton. So check it out and let's get right into it.
I came across you guys in one of like my walks because I was listening to something, then I went on Instagram and then your video popped up talking about reverse wholesale. And I was like, what is this? And then I listened to the whole thing. I went through like the funnel, and when you explained everything, it like a light bulb clicked. I'm like, this makes total sense. This is the missing piece that I was missing, right? And I held off on wholesaling for like a whole year now because I was waiting to find out like a better way to do it, right? Because I was burned out. I was getting all so many hours every single day, and I wasn't consistent on deals. So when you explained it, I was like, that's it. I've been doing the whole thing wrong.
What we do on this call right here is I want to show you a couple different ways to go out and take that action and answer any questions you have in the process, because I don't want you to be confused about how to go about this. The secret sauce that I find is like majority of wholesalers deals are not on paper, not good, because most of them won't send out like that good of a deal. They're going to try and fluff it up so they can make a spread, right? Like if they have it at 200,000 and it's worth 280, or someone would buy 280, they're going to say 280 or 275, right? What I think JVing is, it's finding, just like a seller, it's finding the right opportunity. It's finding that seller who has a problem, right? The wholesaler has a problem. He can't find a buyer, or maybe not that he can't find a buyer. He's just pushing it out too high, right? Or there's just a lot of issues they could have, right? So I want to build those relationships with wholesalers and not immediately judge the deal because when you just look at the deal, they all look bad. But find out the situation, right? Like, hey, how much time do you have left on this? How much time do you have left in your due diligence? We're kind of leveraging the wholesalers doing the business bad for our benefit, right? Like we're leveraging like the fact that they're just locking it up. They're running around. Like that's not how we do it direct to seller, but we can leverage other people doing like that to do more deals, right?
For sure.
So when it comes to finding deals, there's so many different strategies that you can find a deal. So we're going to go to Investor Lift first. You've looked at that training, right?
Yeah. And I'm very familiar with both Investor Lift and Investor Pace.
Okay. So Investor Lift we're not using it to find buyers. We're just using it to look for deals, right? And I'm assuming you're going to do Port Richey, Florida?
Yeah. So all the Tampa Bay area, actually, like,
okay.
From Brooksville all the way down to like St. Pete. Now,
deals that I avoid that I don't really like are ones that are listed on the MLS.
Yeah.
Not that they can't be done. I feel like there's a lot of wholesalers out there that will just lock up stuff on the MLS because they don't know how to do the business, and they'll just lock it up and they'll just put it on here and hope they get lucky. Now, does that work for them? Maybe. It's never really worked for me to lock up stuff on the MLS at like a little bit of a discount. Because a lot of buyers will just be like, hey, man, I can just go directly to the MLS on this thing, right?
Yeah.
So I just look for opportunities, and if I see like specific wholesaling companies that just like have tons of properties that are listed on MLS, like I won't work with them, right? Specifically, but it's as simple as going to a specific property, right? This one looks like crap. I don't really care too much about the pictures. I don't really care too much about. I want to find out the situation, right? That's my goal. I want to know if it's still available. They already have someone locked up. Like, I don't care what their asking price is. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because in all reality, like if they have wiggle room, they have wiggle room. We're going to find that out. And if it's a terrible deal and they're just terrible at wholesaling, then that might benefit me too, to know that I'm talking to a wholesaler that doesn't really know what he's doing. And maybe I can build that relationship and be like, dude, let me give you little pointers. This is what you need to do. This deal, like not even remotely close, like even any buyer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like build those relationships. So Investor Lift is pretty simple to go and find. You have Facebook groups are pretty simple too. Like if you're a part of any other coaching programs in the past, or if you're a part of any Facebook groups where people post deals, or if you go to any real estate investor groups, like those are good opportunities for JV deals, right? Another one that not a lot of people know about is New Western. This is all in the training, by the way. You've heard of New Western, right?
Yeah, they were actually one of the, my buyers. They were on my buyers list.
Yeah. So they're good. So what New Western done a couple deals with New Western where they're like, hey, you can't wholesale our deals. And we're like, yeah, that's fine. Like we're not going to wholesale your deals, but what we can do is we can see an opportunity, we can bring it to a buyer, and then we can talk to the buyer and say, hey, buyer, I have an opportunity I think you might be interested in, but the way I work is you would just pay me at close. You just pay me like a finder's fee or an invoice. That's it. So you can still connect that buyer to New Western. They'll wholesale to that guy. They'll get locked in. And then you just make sure that you're set up at the title company and tell the title company, hey, this is what's going on. Buyer's going to pay me a finder's fee at the close. As far as I know, they're not allowed to go and search for buyers. They have to get the buyers to come in because they're agents. They have to blast them, and that's how they work. They're not able to do what we're able to do, reach out, do investor base, hit them up. So that's kind of like our edge on them. You know what I'm saying?
I actually didn't know that, so that's pretty good to know.
Yeah, they're not. They're like, because of their license and their license that they have as real estate agents, they're not allowed to like reach out.
I guess like my bottleneck was exactly what you just mentioned: getting the buyers to go see the property, right? And that's where I was never able to, go over and accomplish. So that's probably where I would be needing the most amount of help. Maybe it's something that I'm saying or not saying.
The thing is, like, if I'm a buyer and someone comes to me and says, hey, I don't have a deal under contract, and the price is kind of iffy, and I don't really know what's like, that's all I can give you. I don't really understand the situation. I'm not going to go waste my time. But if someone came to me and said, hey, look, man, this is a situation. There's a wholesaler that has a deal. He's got 2 days left to due diligence. He has to take an option. He has to pick, take an offer. He's going to lose a deal. He's at 180. I know that might be a little bit too much. I don't know your numbers. You're going to have to go take a look at it. I know that might be a little too high, but I know he's got blank, right? If you know his spread, great. If you don't, be like, but I know he's got some wiggle room where we can renegotiate. This is going to move. And I need someone like you that can get there. Tell me what you could pay so we can be in the right position. Now, I don't want to waste your time, but this is how I operate. Are you open to doing something like that? Are you that kind of buyer that I can come to you with opportunities and we can strike where the iron is hot? That's when I would be like, okay, we got someone that knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about. It's worth my time. I dispoed this deal. It took me like 3 hours to do it. And it's because I talked to the wholesaler. They sent out a price reduction. So I knew that they needed to move it fast. I called them. I got buddy with them. And I was like, so what's the situation here? Like, are you guys going to flip this? Like, they told me they were originally going to flip it, but they didn't want to. So I just explained, hey man, this is a situation. The wholesaler was going to flip it. They decided they don't want to. They have like 4 days left in their due diligence. Their back's against the wall. They've already sent this thing out twice. Nobody's really responding. I know that they have it at 190. I think it's a deal for you at 200. If I bring it to them, we're going to split the deal, me and them. So you don't have to worry about, paying me outside of this. Like, and for him, he's like, okay, let me go check it out, because he understood what was going on. So he went and saw it like the next day, committed, bam, deal was done.
I was doing something similar to what you guys are doing, but it was because of my sales background, right? So I kind of knew how to do that, and still it doesn't compare to what you guys were doing. So I got lucky. But one of the things that I'm thinking about right now is like, that's the reason why I was able to be so successful when it comes to like creative deals rather than cash deals, because I would get more out of the creative deals. And then I would tell my buyers more about that situation on the creative deals. So they were able to jump in. Whereas when it came to cash, I treated it in a transactional way where I just messed it all up, right?
If you knew what like we would teach you and you went back to direct seller, you would absolutely clean up, because it's like for us, it's not about the price ever. It's like it's about the situation. It's always about the situation. All right, two options here. You talk to the wholesaler and you say, "Hey man, we got some. He's ready to go at 140. You got it at 160. Are you able to renegotiate with the seller?" "No, I don't know how to," or whatever. Like if they're like, "No, I can't." And you're like, "Well, what are you gonna do if you can't get it down? Or are you just gonna let the contract go?" "Yeah, man, I'm not gonna be able to get it done." Well, you have the address, reach out to the, if they lose the deal, say, "Hey
It's
man,
free game.
it's free game." I would, so
Yeah.
there's two options there. It's just like, "Hey man, you know what? Maybe let's do this. I'm a new face. Let me get the contact info for the buyer. Let me reach out like I'm a new buyer after you drop out of contract, and I'll see if I can get it done. And I'll cut you in. I'll cut you in like $1,000 or whatever." Right? You can throw them a bone, or you can just, after you know it's going to go out of contract, just reach out directly. It's whatever you feel comfortable doing. For me, I'd rather just get their information, throw them a bone to build a relationship, and to get their correct info instead of just like skip tracing and hoping you get it. The only thing that like I could see getting in your way or anyone's way is do you have the time set aside consistently to do this, right? Because if you good. Because that's the hardest part. Like everyone that's in this program, like the main pitfall is not that the strategy doesn't work. It's just, are people going to work it?
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, and even though I have my W-2s and all that, like I used to do only wholesaling for like 12 hours a day, every single day, right? So making these phone calls is really like, it's just me going back to what I was doing before, right? And up to a year ago, I was still, doing it full time. But now I have clarity. Now I have like an actual path. So I think I don't think I know that I will be successful, because now the path is clear. I have somebody over me. It's like, hey, maybe we should structure it maybe this way, or go, this way, instead of me just trying to figure it out on my own.
Now, Jonathan had been wholesaling for years, and all it took was one conversation to understand exactly why he was losing out on deals and why his deals weren't closing. He wasn't missing a strategy. He was missing the situation. Buyers don't close on numbers. They don't just see your email blast and immediately want your deal. You got to sell them on it. They close on trust, on urgency, on understanding why the opportunity is worth their time. If you want me to walk you through this the same way I did with Jonathan, all you got to do is click the link below and book a call. But only do this if you're serious and you're ready to take action. Now, if you found this video helpful, I want you to check out the video on the next screen. We'll see you on the next one.